Hey, what's going on guys, this is Pete here, and today I wanna make a fairly short video because a few days ago I shared some very interesting news on my Spanish community tab, and since many of you don't even speak Spanish, it is natural that you haven't seen it. But in summary, it is confirmed that X, a Switch emu for PC, Yusu's competition, will eventually have Android compatibility in the future. For the people who dislike to hear the word eventually because they want it all now, I'm going to paraphrase my partner Carlos from Immortal Games. The world of emus is a world of patience. If you don't want to wait for developers to slowly improve compatibility and performance on their apps, you can simply buy a console and you will enjoy a perfect experience for a fair price. But now that we're talking about this news, I'm gonna go ahead and explain each and every one of the projects that intend to bring us the Switch console to Android devices. So without further ado, let's begin. But wait, I forgot about today's question. I want to know what Nintendo Switch game would you like to enjoy on your cell phone and why? Starting up, we have Agnes. Agnes is an emu developed by NX Team Studios, who claim to be from the United States and have worked on this project for about 2 years. Speaking of its performance, we can see that it is excellent, running 2D games at a stable FPS even on mid-range devices. As we move on to 3D titles, there are some less demanding games like Pokemon Let's Go and Diablo 3 that run surprisingly well on mid to high-end cell phones. But some like Mario Odyssey and other graphically heavy games still don't run at 100% speed even on this year's flagship, the Snapdragon 888. Although this is subject to change in case NX Studio optimizes the emu for the newest processors, there are some caveats with this emulator that don't allow me to recommend it to you. Number 1, it has an entry barrier. To use it, you must have bought the Game Series X2, and even though it is a fairly good controller within its category of the USB Type-C controllers, it has some limitations such as not having analog triggers, a separated D-pad. It can only be used with compatible cell phones, and although in my opinion, the price is justified by the simple fact of it being a USB Type-C controller, for many people spending more than $50 on a controller that you can only use on your cell phone is a completely crazy idea, and this is quite understandable. Number 2, it is also required to create an account, accept privacy policies and user agreements, and well, from previous experiences, we already know how far they can go with these practices. I'm talking about you, Damon PS2. The future of Agnes is uncertain. I cannot tell you if these limitations will be removed soon, if we will eventually have on-screen controls available, but what I can tell you is that I can only recommend this emu for people with a flagship device, with enough money to buy the Game Series X2 and zero care for privacy. But in number 4 we have Damon Switch, a sister project of a certain emu that is much loved on this channel, created by Damon Play Technologies and announced both on YouTube and on its Baidu, a social network used mainly in Asian countries. In this network, we were told that Damon Switch was already in development and would be launched in 2021. He also took the opportunity to announce Damon PS3 for 2022 and Damon's PS4 for 2024. Given the experiences with previous Damon Play work, it is quite easy to think that Damon Switch will follow the same practices as its older brother. Complete disrespect for your privacy, exaggerated charges for a project with poor performance, among other things that deserve a whole video for themselves. Let me know if you would like to see it. But Damon Play tells us that this time Damon Switch will boast a 100% free format, without advertising, without cost, without mandatory internet connection or requirement of controllers. We had already reviewed this other comment that basically clarifies any doubt about the source of income from this type of apps. To those who asked him how Damon Switch will generate money if it is 100% free, Damon replied that Google Chrome was also free and it still generated money, so 100% free does not mean zero profit for him. Damon looks pretty sure that it can create this emu, arguing that developing a Switch emu is about 70% easier than making a PlayStation 2 emu. I tried to look for a little more information on Baidu, but beyond a tentative release date, which is clearly a joke, I found no more information. In any case, once they share something new with us, you will find out first on this channel. In number 3, we have Yusu Android. Yusu is a Nintendo Switch emu for PC that was released less than a year after the launch of the original console. As of today, it is the one with the best performance. A large percentage of the games are already 100% enjoyable even at higher resolutions, with graphic mods and a higher amount of FPS. The problem is that the Android version hasn't even been announced yet. This theory arose only from my speculation that in my opinion is quite well founded. That is because Yusu was born thanks to a group of developers who met during the creation of Citra, a 3DS emu for PC that after a few years ended up coming to Android. We know that Agnes uses Yusu code, so it is only a matter of having an official port to see a performance that would surely be much better. Now this is only my opinion, but what do you think? You think Yusu will eventually come to Android, or am I just talking nonsense? In number 2, we have in my opinion the best proposal so far. As everyone knows, the Nintendo Switch and Android cell phones share architectures. Both are based on ARM, unlike conventional computers that are based on x86. Skyline is a project that plans to make use of the similarity between the Switch and Android devices to bring Switch games to our cell phones. The easiest way to explain it would be by telling you that Skyline is sort of a compatibility layer. That means you will run Switch games with the highest power found on current cell phones. And I say sort of because it's not like nothing is being emulated. So far the GPU side of things still poses a problem, but on the other side, the CPU won't have to be emulated. Other benefits are that you do not need to buy any controller since you will have on-screen buttons, and very surely the possibility of using the gamepad that you prefer. So far we know that Skyline is a serious project, and that it is on a very good path. It is already starting up commercial games such as Mario Odyssey or Sonic Mania, and although the audio part runs quite well, there is still no video output. For now, only a black screen is shown. As of today, we know that the requirements to run Skyline will be much lower than those necessary to run a traditional emulator. If you want more information about it, you can check out my previous video where I explain why it is likely that starting from this year, even low-end phones might run Switch games. Number 1. Ryujin X. Even though we already have ARM-based computers, poor performance and non-compatibility with essential x86 software are the main reasons why the market representation of these computers is so low. As always, if there is no market, software developers will not have any incentive to port their programs to ARM, and since there is no software, nobody buys ARM. So you can see how a vicious cycle is born. People don't buy because people don't develop, and people don't develop software because nobody buys. Now why is it important to talk about this? Although many do not like it, no one can deny that when Apple imposes a trend, the whole world of technology sooner or later follows it. Today we have to thank Apple for the development of its new M1 ARM-based chipsets. Ever since they were released, the ARM interest of many developers has started to increase considerably, and a reflection of this is this new emu. Ryujin X is Yusu's competition on PC. They recently shared the latest development progress and a teaser for the future of this emu. This is where everything gets interesting. It turns out that in this very article they tell us about the sub-projects in the development of this emu. One of them is the support for ARM devices, and the people of Ryujin X tell us the same thing I'm telling you guys. The transition from x86 to ARM is inevitable, and the official Ryujin X team recognizes the importance of supporting this architecture to make the emulator available on new platforms. They tell us that the work has already started. They are using the Raspberry Pi 4 as a testing platform, and they already have games running on this device. Finally, they tell us that even though there is still a lot of work to be done, it is quite exciting to see these games run on a new platform. And continuing the project will eventually make both Android and Apple's new ARM devices have official support. So yes, my friends, this is the first news we have about an emu with a track record on PC coming to Android. Now all we have to do is wait. If you liked the video, leave me a like and share it with your friends. But this has been everything for today. This is Pete the Android, and I'll see you on the next one.